Chairman Koenig.
Here.
Vice Chair Bratton. Here. Senators Arthur. Beck. Here. Gannon.
Here.
Hoskins. Razor. Schroer. Trent.
All right, we have a quorum. We'll go ahead and start a hearing on Senate Bill 508. Good.
All right. Well, thank you to the committee. For the record, my name is Senator Ben Brown of the 26th District, and I'd like to thank the committee for the opportunity to present SB508. Over the last several years, we've seen a breakdown in trust between parents and the school boards in which their children attend. This is driven in part by the fact that outside of the April school board elections, which historically have pretty abysmal turnout, there really isn't a mechanism for accountability. Between controversial masking policies, allegations of critical race theory infiltrating curriculum, and reports of school districts encouraging teachers to actively hide curriculum, as in the case at Rockwood in St. Louis County in the spring of 2021, the need for parents to have more oversight in their children's education continues to grow. SB 508 outlines a formal recall process that could be utilized when absolutely necessary. For instance, if any school board member were to flagrantly violate any fiduciary responsibility or other aspect of their role. While I believe that it is best practice for the public to have a mechanism for removing elected officials, I do believe this process should not be common or necessarily easy. This process ensures fairness and prevents disgruntled voters from immediately acting just because they were upset by the results of an election. Additionally, this process protects an elected official who withstands a recall petition by not continually allowing them to be subject to the recall process repeatedly. This bill also features a transparency component aimed at increasing engagement and participation in school board elections. It states that an annual report listing the name of each school board member, the district the member serves, the member's election date, and the expiration date of the member's term shall be posted on the Secretary of State's website on July 1st of each year. Information about upcoming school board races isn't as widely available as in other elections. I believe that by providing parents more information regarding who is serving on these boards and when they will appear on the ballot, it would be a valuable step towards improving turnout and ensuring the result of these elections is a more direct representation of the communities that they serve. Thank you, and be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for the bill sponsor? Seeing none. Anybody testifying in support of Senate Bill 508, please come forward.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Alex Eaton testifying today on behalf of the Missouri Century Foundation. We would like to go on record in support of Senate Bill 508. Senator Brown did a great job explaining the need for the transparency piece as well as the recall provision. Happy to take any questions and appreciate Senator Brown bringing this bill forward.
Questions for this witness? Seeing none. Anybody testifying in support of Senate Bill 508?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Arnie C. A.C. Dienoff, State Public Advocate. And I believe in the subject of recall. Missouri school boards across the state are one of the few political subdivisions that do not allow a recall. I would like to propose an amendment to the sponsor that the registered voters who voted in a recent election, that it be decreased from 10% to 5%. You're merely asking the voters a question of either they want to keep the elected official in office or remove them. It's in the rights and interests of the public You can remove somebody for malfeasance, moral turpitude, violation of a member's oath of office, abuse of power or authority, misuse or appropriation of public monies or public property, conviction of a felony, willful violation of any code of ethics, violation of any school board policy, breach of public trust, lack of responsiveness, measures that are counterproductive, in violation of any applicable provision of Chapter 610. I just want to point it out on the record that maybe any provision of Chapter 162 which relates to public school districts and school board functions. I just want to point out a couple issues of examples of possible recall. In the Francis House School District in St. Charles, there was a proposition to build 4 school buildings. Well, the high school was 70% overrun in terms of the budgeted money of $62 million. So they spent the $211 million, or I'm sorry, 170 of the $211 million of bonding for one high school instead of building 3 additional buildings. In the Wentzville School District, there was a school board member who stated hate on Facebook and at a public school board meeting, made discriminatory remarks towards many different groups within the community, and the community wanted to recall that member. That member lost election, but they were unable to do a recall petition because in Chapter 162 and 163, it didn't allow for the recall of a school board member. I agree in the posting of terms on the election site of the Secretary of State, but not only that, I would offer an amendment to the bill sponsor and to the committee that all the terms of offices of all political subdivisions and their terms of office shall be on the Secretary of State's website for transparency and allowing the public the right to run for those public offices. For those reasons, I highly support Senate Bill 508. Thank you.
All right, anybody else testifying in support Senate Bill 508? Anybody testifying in opposition to Senate Bill 508?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Brant Shields. I am the Director of Government Relations for the Missouri School Boards Association. MSBA wants to go on record in opposition to Senate Bill 508. Generally, MSBA is opposed to bills that specifically target school board members while not targeting other elected officials that are not eligible for recall, such as county offices, many city offices, legislators, and the executive branch. Specifically, MSBA has concerns with portions of this bill that are more subjective in their language than objective. For example, the lack of definition on lack of responsiveness or promotion of ideas that are counterproductive to the best interest of staff, faculty, or students. Again, those are very subjective matters. In general, also, MSBA believes that school board members are elected at a greater frequency than just about any other elected office, with 1/3 of school board members across the state being eligible for election every April. That means that 1/3 of a school board turns over or has the ability to turn over every single year. Finally, one of the provisions in this bill that is very concerning to MSBA is the provision that if a recall election were to happen in April, that the next highest vote getter would and the recall was successful, the next highest vote getter would be automatically appointed to the school board. Again, you could potentially have scenarios where the last place finisher is all of a sudden promoted to the school board, even though they were the least amount of vote getter in that election. So with that, Mr. Chair, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for this witness? Seeing none. Anybody else testifying in
Thank
opposition?
you very much.
Senate Bill 509. Anybody testify for informational purposes only? Seeing none. All right, that concludes our hearing on Senate Bill 509. Thank you. And I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor say aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it.